Hi there Colour Blast fans, it's Melinda here again today with you, and today I am sharing with you some fun ideas to do with your shimmer sprays. This is my whole collection. I do hope to build on it. I'm going to quickly just show you what I've got here as well in case you missed my last video. So I have my little sample book here, and this is where all of my samples of my colours go. I very briefly touched on it in the last video, but I hope you can see that alright. So at the top I have sprayed which colour it is, and then here I've used the packaging technique, which I'll show you both of those in this little video that I'm doing. I've then used the embossing powder and the colour paste as well, just so that I've got a really accurate idea of what the colour actually looks like on paper. This paper hasn't been treated, so I know that if I apply it straight to like watercolour paper, then this is the sort of colour I'm going to get. And even if I put it over the top of gesso, the colour is going to be quite true to what it actually is as well. So that's that. And if you missed the other video, you would have missed this as well. So these shimmer sprays come up beautifully shimmery. And if you only apply one coat, then you don't get a super dark colour. The colour's not really saturated. So that's sort of the colour that you end up with. But you can always go back in and apply more colours, and it depends too if you water it down, how close you spray it to the paper and all that sort of stuff. So I do have a bunch of techniques that I'm going to show you. I have got some watercolour paper, I have got some white cardstock that I have gessoed, I will also have some white cardstock that I have not gessoed, and a couple of other things that I'm going to play with. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you come up with some fun ideas to use some of your shimmer sprays. I'm going to stop the video now and get into creating and do a voiceover, so enjoy! Alright, so I'm back again, and I am starting with doing a quick demo of what the colours look like as you spray them and smush them and sprinkle them. I'm using the leather shimmer spray, and I'm starting, this piece is the watercolour paper. So I've just sprayed it, I've got some packaging there, I'm going to smush it a little bit. And you can see that with the watercolour paper, it is designed to move the colour a bit more. So you'll see that you do have a bit of time to move it around before it sinks in. I will give it a quick blast with the heat gun and then do my sprinkles, pop it aside to dry. You can see all the shimmer there as it dries as well, it's so pretty. I will have photos of all of these different ones at the end so that you can see what they all look like. But there's your sprinkles, and I'll pop that one aside. Next up is, again with the leather, this is the American Crafts textured white cardstock with a coat of gesso on it. So you can see straight away that that spray moves around and it pulls up. And again, that's me doing the packaging technique, and you can see that I can drag that colour around and it moves quite a lot. I'm pretty sure with this one I just sprinkle over where I've smushed it, pop that one aside, and then my last little one that I'm going to use this same colour on is the non-gessoed American Crafts white textured cardstock. You can see that it's soaked straight up into that paper. I really do actually like the way that it has come up though. I always put gesso on, but I really like the way that the colour's soaked in and left the effect that it's left. So depending what look you're after, any of those three ways could work. So I'll pop that aside to dry. Now what I've got there in that little palette is a couple of colours. I think one is Envy, that's the green, and then the more blue one is Deep Water. And I've just added a couple of squirts and a couple of squirts of water, so I've got a real watercolour. That blue tub has clean water in it. They're both clean at the moment, but I'm just applying a quick coat of water, grabbing a clean paintbrush, mixing that colour up so that the shimmer goes onto the page as well. And I'm just going to create a little watercolour background here with the three colours. Now, doing this sort of stuff, it is a good idea to have a little bit of understanding of how the colour wheel works so that you don't put like green and red next to each other and wonder why you get mud. So obviously yellow and blue together make green, and that's why I've gone with these three colours. And it looks so pretty when it's done. You can see how easily those colours apply. I'm going to add a bit more of the sunshine with just straight from the bottle with a dry paintbrush. I wanted a bit more saturation of colour, and I've just applied a little bit on that adjoining line, and then I just tilt the paper a little bit to get the colours to mix a little bit so that it's not a really solid yellow green line. Do blast that with my heat tool, and there you go. You can see the shimmer is so pretty. I love how it turned out. I have cut all of my papers down to card front sizes, so I will make cards out of these at some point. This is rose petals, so I decided here that I was going to do like just sprinkle the colour on. Again, this is watercolour paper as well, and I have just done a really quick coat of clear water, and then I've sprinkled my colour on just with the nozzle from the bottle. And in the parts where it hasn't spread any, I add a bit more water, and you can see I'll go in here with 3 different colours. And they all mix together, and they just look really cool. It's a fun little technique. So this one's the Tangerine Dream. Bit more water, and then I go in with the Sunshine. Add a bit more water just so that the colour mixes a bit more. And it gives a really fun, mottled, watery, watercolour effect. I really like how it turned out. Hit that with the heat tool. Give you a quick look at it. Next up, what have I got? Oh, so this piece that I'm stenciling onto is a piece of watercolour cardstock. I'm using the Violet, I think it's called, the Rose Petal, and I think that is Deep Water, because blue and pink together make purple. I'm just grabbing a piece of, I think it's watercolor paper, but I'm not 100% certain. I will at the end when I show you all the close-ups, I will write what I've used. So I've just used an extra piece of paper over the top to get like a stamped impression, another way to use the mist. And it's so pretty. The effect that you get is so pretty, and they're so different. Next up, I have got some white American Crafts cardstock that has been gessoed. I'm going to do a little bit of embossing. I did go into all the details of embossing on my last video for Colour Blast. So I'm just using a Happy Birthday stamp. Again, I'm going to use my Bling embossing powder. Just wanted to show you a fun way to use the shimmer sprays as a watercolour. Well, I did show you this technique on the other video, but if you haven't seen it yet. So I'm just inking up my stamp with my Versamark. I'll stamp that on. First up, I applied some baby powder through an EK Success powder tool just to remove the static. That's a nice shot of my head, sorry. I have left in the part where I heat set it because I love watching the magic of the embossing happening, so I just thought that I would leave it in. Look at that beautiful shimmer. This bling is going to be one of my all-time favourite colours. I'm just heat setting it, and look at that magic. It's so pretty. I'll give that a couple of seconds to cool down, and then grab my big paintbrush to wipe off that excess shimmer. Not that it's a big deal so much for this time, because I am going straight over it with some watercolour, well, with some of the shimmer spray. So again, I'm going straight out of the bottle with a damp brush. I use the Envy here. So this is one of my favourite brushes, so I just pull it out and I just apply the colour straight over the top. Move it around a bit. Just apply a bit more colour. When I'm happy with that first coat, I will heat set it. Pretty sure that I soak up some of the water using a paper towel as well. So that's the first coat done. I decided I want a bit darker, so again, just go straight back in with the same paintbrush, pick up a bit more colour, and off we go. Once this one is all dry, the effect is just beautiful. The gold just really stands out. And if you do get some of the shimmer spray onto the embossing, you can just grab a damp baby wipe or even a damp paper towel and just gently dab off the colour off the embossing, and it looks fantastic. Next up we have got, so this is similar to the other technique that I did where I did the splatters, except I'm going the other way around. I'm doing the colour and then the water. I'm really surprised at how different they mix. I do only use the two colours on this one, the Tangerine Dream and the Sunshine. And in the close-ups, I'll include a photo of these two next to each other. And again, I'll include what paper they're on. I think this might be watercolour paper again, but I'm not certain. There is lots of water involved in this technique. As you can see, I'm just going in with a paper towel and sopping up a lot of that water. And I think I just pop it aside to let it air dry, just so that the colours don't mix too much. Oh, no, that's not the case at all. So heat dry that one. I did do this a couple of days ago and I haven't been 100% well, but that's okay. And I went back over this one with a few of the Sunshine splatters. I just love that Sunshine colour. It's such a pretty colour and it's so happy. I love it. Next up is the chipboard. So this piece, I actually have applied a coat of white gesso over the top. And I thought that I would show you with the gesso and without the gesso. I thought with the gesso you would get a very bold colour, and then when I sprayed this piece of chipboard, you can see the colour there. I was blown away at how pretty it was. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. But from that piece, I was inspired to try something else, which derailed the rest of the ideas that I originally had for this video. But I've also sprayed another word in Tangerine Dream. Again, there'll be close-ups of all of those. So when I did that chipboard, I went, wow, that colour's come up so well on the really dark. I'm going to find some black cardstock. So I found some black cardstock. Now, you guys may have already discovered this, but oh my goodness. I was so impressed with how these colours came up on this black cardstock. I cannot wait to play. So I found some scrap cardstock and I went to town spraying all of my different colours. I have labelled my black piece of cardstock again. There will be another close-up at the end with all the different labels of what I've used. If you haven't yet tried your shimmer sprays on black cardstock, my goodness, give it a go. It looks so spectacular and the sparkle is amazing. I'm so impressed. So as I said, this sidetracked me from the path that I was on. So I didn't get to do all of the other little ideas that I had in my head. So maybe I will do another video with some more ideas for the shimmer sprays. You're into the close-ups now, so if you do have any questions, please leave me a comment below. Make sure that you remember to subscribe to the channel, like this channel, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for stopping by and have a lovely, shimmery, sparkly day. Thanks!